I would like to share with you a little bit of how I'm able to cope. Somebody asked me a question. They said, "How do you cope with the loss of your son, with the grieving? How do you cope? How do you wake up every day? How do you look for and find the good? What's helped you through this grieving process?" Well, for me, it has been my writing. My writing has always been a way to kind of release and kind of vent and steam and just get it all out. And during the process of grieving the loss of my son, I was able to write a lot. So that has really helped me. For those of you that don't know, in 2015, in October, was the 30th, there was an accident. My son, Andrew, who is the Navy veteran, came back because he was in the medical, and he went with a bunch of Marines. And they went to Kandahar, and he was deployed there for a while. He came back, changed, not the same person. When he was little, he was like a love bug. He was like such a blessing to have. Such a sweet soul. But he came back changed. He was angry, he was bitter. So our relationship was a little strained at best. We did have good moments. He brought Elijah over, and then they later had Sophia, which was like amazing because he loved those kids so much. But he was different. And he tried to cope with the things that were going through his mind, the things I had seen when he was over there. He was trying to cope, but he was jumpy, he was edgy, he was suffering from PTSD. And we were just trying to kind of tiptoe around it, but be grateful that he was there. But in October of 2015, he actually had been drinking, and he should have never got behind the wheel, but he did. And he was speeding down a road, and some people were pulling out of a shopping center, and he hit their vehicle. These people, some of them didn't have seatbelts on. One person was killed on impact. Another one severely maimed, but the one person that had the seatbelt on was okay. But it was a horrific accident. So in 2015, he went to jail, and he spent 3 years in jail while they evaluated and reevaluated his mental condition. He was not the same. He was delusional. There was a lot going on that he wasn't himself. So there was a trial, and and at that trial I was able to talk to the other mothers. I was able to hold their hands. We all agreed there were no winners in this. They harbored no animosity, no hatred, no anger. And during that time, even though you're not supposed to be near the inmates or talk to them, acknowledge them, I was able to embrace my son one last time and hold him and smell him. And I told him I loved him. I'm grateful for that. But I was able to do that. But during that process, he actually took his own life while he was in jail. He committed suicide. He hung himself. So, it was devastating, and it's still like, it's painful, but I want to help others. I want people to know they're not alone, that you can get through the hurt and the rawness of it. You can go forward. I know now that he's free. I know now that he's okay. My humanness. I miss my baby. God, I miss him. You know, he would have these little things he would always say to me, you know. Hey, pretty lady, is, you know what he'd always say? Try to butter me up. And he would tell me that I have the most beautiful hands he's ever seen. You know, stuff like that, that I'm gonna miss. I do miss. But to go forward, a lot that's helped me is my writing. I do write. I write all the time. Sometimes I can't stop writing. Sometimes I will have to pull over and jot an idea down, or I'll have to talk into my phone, and just to be able to release, to get that out. But during the process, after Andrew had done this, I was only able to get through by writing. And I wrote a bunch of poems, and they are in this book right here called Collateral Damage. And this is my photo. Yay. And on the back, I do have suicide prevention. But I do have this book and all these poems that I'm sure others can relate to. And I just want to get this book into like so many people's hands to show them they are not alone, that they can recover, they can work through it. If I can do it, anybody can. There's no timeline for grief. There's no right or wrong. There's no expectation. People go through a process. And there are some times when I can talk about Andrew and be happy, or I can see a vision of him or hear something, and it's like, yeah, I got you. You're okay. And other times I miss him, and it's just grates on my heart, but it doesn't hurt as much now. There's always going to be a sting. There's always going to be that, oh, I miss him. But it doesn't always, you know, handicap me. And I want everyone to know with this book, it's $15. It costs me about, I don't know, $10 to make it, each book. And the remainder, any profits that I get from each selling the book, they go to help military moms. Because when I was in need of help, military moms helped me, like on so many levels. So I want to read you one of my poems that I wrote that's in the book, and it's called, where is it? My Veteran, My Andy. On Veterans Day, we celebrate all those who've braved to fight, to battle on the front lines, treacherous wars in day and night. Somewhere a soldier fights himself, the war still rages in his mind. The love of friends and family, he's left those all behind. The heartache of a tragedy cries help beyond the grave, too drunk with post-traumatic stress for anyone to save. Though love will never leave your side, our hearts break every day. So many lives forever changed, just taken all away. I grieve, I hate, I love you, a bitter circle without end. I regret how war has changed you, my son, a war-torn veteran. From a tender child so loving to a shadow of who you were. You tried to drink away your demons, but created many more. Children left without their father, your mother half dead inside. Left damned in all eternity, nightmares of buried pride. I pray for peace inside this life, for my heart had turned to stone. The tragedies of wartime, no, they don't leave when they come home. That's one of the poems in the book. And there are many more. It's just a way to release, a way to give up and realize, you know what, there's so much more. There's so much more. We are all connected. We are all one, whether you believe it or not, and whether, you know, you believe in God or not, or Jehovah, or, you know, doesn't matter what religion you are. What matters is your one-on-one relationship with what you consider God or source or the universe. And the only thing that matters is love, compassion, the genuine feelings you have for yourself and others. Those can't be replaced. Those can't be fake. It's what you feel. And forgiveness. You have to have forgiveness in your heart. Things happen. Life happens. Let go. You can't take it with you. Let it go. I appreciate you allowing me to show you a piece of me and my abilities, and I hope that this inspires you to either get the book for yourself or for someone you know, because, you know, when people tell me, you know, I've lost a parent, I can't imagine losing a child, I want to tell you and I want to share with you, it's irrelevant. It's all loss. We all feel it. Whether it's, you know, your pet that's just your best friend, your child. I'm not comparing one to another. I'm not doing that. I don't want you to do that. I want you to know that as human beings who experience loss, period, you can connect the dots. You can feel. And that's what I want to reach, and that's what I want to reach inside you, to be able to understand and feel and realize if you're hurting, you're not the only one. If you're going through it, you know, grief comes in phases, you know, and in waves. And, you know, although, you know, everyone thinks, oh, I've got it all put together. You know, sometimes I just have to let it go and have to let it out. And it's going to happen until I'm gone, I'm sure. But I know my son is okay. I know he wants only the best and only the good. And I'm able to give messages now that other parents and people with loved ones who've crossed over can feel. And I appreciate your time, and, you know, God bless, in love and light. Thank you.